Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Life Enduring Podcast. This is podcast episode 46. And in this episode, I don't know why, I don't just clear my throat before I start the podcast. I don't get it. You would think by now. But it always feels that it comes on when I start. Like I never had any throat issues literally 2 minutes ago. So sorry about that. I was gonna do this podcast later tonight because I'm planning on just staying up and painting and probably squeezing in a little video game play. So I'm off tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see if my body accepts the memo or rebuttals with a strong heck no. We're gonna sleep. So, of course, I guess all depending on when this. Well, I'm planning on releasing this weekend. So, if you paid attention to the news, you would have been made aware of the fighting Oscars. And I'm sure by this point in time, I mean, the memes are endless. So I don't think I can manage to come up with anything snippy and creative at this point, other than just to recount how, and I don't even know how I watch a lot of YouTube, and so somehow it came in my feed. Because I was aware of the Oscars, I just wasn't aware that it was on this past weekend, because I haven't watched the Oscars in years. Easily 10 years I haven't, and I don't know if that's because I just haven't, and not even counting these past 2 years with the COVID, coronavirus, and all that, things being shut down, or even before that, I'm trying to think. I want to say even before we moved back to the U.S., even while I was living in the Bahamas, I think I think it, and we'll get back to the slap and stuff like that. I should have mentioned the title. I'll just squeeze in the title at the beginning. Yeah, I just got tired of going to the movies and just unlike here, where I think there's a little bit more of an etiquette when it comes to just movie theater etiquette. What you are allowed to do, and from what you are not, or what is not permitted. And so I just got tired of having to deal with people talking to one another, or talking on the phone, or being disruptive, or geez heavens, if this is a movie and this is their like fifth time watching it, and so they're giving their own extended commentary version, and I was like, I didn't really pay for that. Paid a lot of money, but I didn't pay for that experience. I didn't sign up for viewer commentary. I just want to watch the friggin' movie. And so, but that I mean, but that would just happen a lot, where you just have people just talking, and it seems like the attendants are they would I don't know what you call them, the movie, what- I don't know, movie, I don't know, the staff, they're either afraid or I don't know, but it was just always like a fiasco of fiasco of just noise and people just being just being jerks for I don't know jerk's sake. But it was just always a pain, and so I just got tired of it, and I was like, you know what? We have great, we have cable internet. I think I had Prime at that point in time, and yeah, I just, or even like pay per view. I just started just ordering movies, and I was like, yeah, I'll just watch this movie here, comfort of my home, and and yes, it's not, it's not the same as, large theater, surround sound, and all that stuff. Because even back then, I mean, I think the largest size TV we ever had was a 32 inch. And then that was a big deal back then, a flat screen 32 inch. And so, but yeah, but I would mix it up every now and then because if it was like a huge movie that I wanted to go and see, okay, I'll go and watch that one at the movie theaters. And so, because I went a lot to the movie theaters, even by myself, because sometimes, certain movies Jen wouldn't want to watch, and because you're like, if it was, I mean, I can't do horrors, so I mean, neither of us will watch a horror film. But if there was a lot of gore, she just didn't do well with that, and so, sorry, I get lost when. I mean, every topic I talk about is engaging, but when I can clearly recall, I get lost and I'm not drawing as much. Although we've gone through this already, the drawing is really just a side dish to this podcast. But I don't want to neglect it either. So, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that loop. But yeah, and then of course when we moved back here, I mean it was just so much easier. I just continued. I mean, I went to the movie theater and stuff like that, but it came to a point where I was like, you know what, man, what am I drawing? Am I not paying attention? I I just got just tired of. You know what? You know what's happening? Instead of me just sketching this, I'm trying to fine tune it, and that's the problem. Um, yeah, so all of that to say, all of that backstory, just to say, since just falling out of going to a movie theater and watching, because I don't know, for whatever reason I feel like it. Although I mean there were movies that I watched at home that still resonated with me, and so, but gone are the days where I'm like, oh man, you know what? I really think this can win Best Picture, or this actor or actress can win, Best Actor, and all that stuff. And I honestly can't say why, because I used to watch. I mean, I used to watch the Oscars. I mean, like religiously. But, oh, the Oscars are coming on, and when you waiting for those big awards. Even the Grammys, I would watch those too, and I just kind of fall out of it all, and it could be that I just didn't put that much of a an interest in it all. It just didn't matter as much if whatever the movie or music album or whatever. I just didn't follow as much. So all that to say, and then years later, hearing that folks just around the world, I guess, had the same sentiment of not really watching the Oscars because their viewership fell drastically. So, but anyway, at this Oscars, that all changed when Will, just slapped Chris Rock for making a joke about Jada, his wife, and being in the second installment, or if there was going to be a second installment of G.I. Jane. And man, I haven't thought about G.I. Jane in ages, so that brought back some memories there. But yeah, so Jada didn't really like it at all, and because Will actually was laughing at first, and then I guess he realized Jada was not feeling that, and he went up and just smacked your boy. And so what is this podcast all about? Would you retaliate if someone smacked you in the face, regardless of where you are? A lot of folks are saying Chris Rock responded very professionally, and I agree with that because the show has to go on. I mean, if he retaliates, then man, what does the Academy do? What do you do? I wonder if now they're gonna have. Well, they had 3 hosts, so I wonder now they'll have a contingency plan. Like, hey man, if something goes down, we gotta have a backup. Someone falls out with someone else, or you never know. Someone could just collapse. Someone could have a medical condition and or a medical incident. So I think they should be thinking through how they can plan accordingly if they ever have a incident like that again. But yeah, what would you do? I can tell you now, I think instinctively, if I didn't swing back or duck, I just actually finished listening to a portion of Jacko's podcast on YouTube, and he's like, man, you just don't let someone walk up to you like that and not guard yourself. And I agree, because Chris really kind of leaned forward, and I don't know if he was like leaning forward to to be like, hey man, we're good, you know what I mean, and you just lean forward and we'll just slap his face, man. So I don't know if he was just not anticipating. Well, of course he was not anticipating it, but I don't know if he was not anticipating an aggression or physical aggression from Will, and perhaps that's why. But with someone walking up to you like that, you have to, man. You have to start thinking, hey, something's off. I don't know if that's just street sense, but it needs to become common sense. But what would you do? Or I was saying what I would do. Now, instinctively, I may have just swung back. or grab him. You know what I mean? Because the minute he made contact, he turned around, he walked away. So I think I would have grabbed him or ran after him. If I had like a few seconds of composure, the Holy Spirit was just like settle down. If the Sermon on the Mount came into play, someone slaps you on your right cheek, turn your left. But then I know I would say, we're going to see each other when this is done, and that's just me. I just have a very low tolerance for stuff like that, and just for like bully behavior, or and even if you don't want to say quite bully, just how can I put this? Just being disrespectful. It's and for no reason. It's an award show. The comedian that did a crack jokes. And again, it wasn't. I mean, and honestly, and even if he knew that she had alopecia or alopecia, however it's pronounced, because I've heard like alopecia, then I've heard just alopecia, and so even if Chris knew, the joke was still not. What's the word? It's a word I'm looking for that starts with M. And it's not mean. But we'll use mean for simpler term. It wasn't mean. And so it was just, hey, you getting ready for GI Jane 2. I'll watch that. And so, but. And the thing what got me is just, folks just not really checking for Chris, because people were consoling Will, and I like Will, I'm a fan of Will's work, let me put it that way. So I like Will. Of course, there are practices, like lifestyle, I can't roll with. But as far as an actor, I do. This is probably a bad idea to put gum in my mouth while I'll be talking. I'm sorry. I know what came over me. I just saw red and I was like, I'm going to chew gum right now. So yeah, and I'm not feeling this for whatever reason. I'm just on a struggle bus. I'm just trying to, it was something I saw. Sorry, kind of sporadic, but it was just something I saw, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I want to recreate that. But I am struggling. Man. But yeah, I just thought it was just out of line. Would he have done it to someone else? More than likely not. Chris is half his size. And again, it's a joke. And this is something that is commonplace. Of all the times I've watched the Oscars, it's commonplace that someone just jokes about whatever someone's wearing, at the Oscars. It's. So I don't get the the outrage and his response. And I get, yeah, it's his wife and stuff like that. Because the crazy part is he laughed too, so he obviously didn't see it as something offensive. Because by him laughing, what do they call that? Agreement by omission, or whatever it is. By, jeez, I'm so terrible with analogies when it comes to that. But yeah, and so maybe he got a look, I know, from Jada, and it was like, oh, okay, snap, okay, I gotta do something, which, I mean, by this point, we've heard all of the possible, the possible scenarios, and that very well could have been the case. But not advocating violence, but man, someone slaps me, it's gonna be hard for me not to slap you back, especially when I clearly didn't do anything to you, physically, and nothing degrading either. Yeah, this is the M word. It wasn't malicious. Wow, why am I why am I slurring? It wasn't malicious at all what he said. It wasn't even overly personal either. He didn't get into any entanglement commentary at all, and yeah, for him to just react like that to Chris, yeah, I that was whack, of all whack. I mean, it was just, that was poor taste, and but again, I doubt it would be, he would have that same reaction if it was someone else. I truly doubt that. And so, but yeah, but it was Chris, and I recall, they Chris had, he did a joke on them as well before, when Jada wanted folks to boycott the Oscars when he didn't get any nominations for, I think it's for concussion, and so so I don't know if all of that, but nonetheless, it nothing warrants getting slapped. National TV, international TV, bathroom, whatever. I mean, nothing warrants that at all. So, so yeah, and Chris is not pressing charges, as we all know, and I don't know, man. Would I had pressed charges? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, but some type of example has to be made. I don't think I'll go quietly into the night and just get smacked, and then nothing happens. So something, and I don't know what it is, but something would have to give, because we can't just have that. Can't just have someone just teeing off on you, and then nothing happening after they've teed off on you. So, but again, like I said, not advocating violence. I'm just saying what I would do, and I know Father in heaven would not want me to do what I would more than likely choose to do. But the same thing as he's saying about protecting his wife's honor, I gotta protect my honor as well. I'm not just like, oh, I got to be a man and protect my honor as a man. No, I just got to protect my honor just as a human being, you know. And so, because I don't do that, who will? So, but what do you do? It's hard to say. I think what Chris did, he kept it professional, and so I think that's key. I think that shows a high level of maturity, and he kept it moving, and I know a lot of folks, giving kudos to that. That he just rolled with it, and yeah, and and so, man, I don't know. I think given the circumstances, you definitely have to make that person accountable. I think something that's done in public should be resolved publicly as well. I think that's key. And I don't know, man. Sometimes I appreciate, because I need all of the grace that we're living in a time of grace as believers. But sometimes I get real Old Testament. I'm just like, all right, man, swift justice. Actually, I still believe in swift justice, particularly when everything is proven. I think we have a lot of technology that we can, if everything's proven beyond a reasonable doubt, evidence, all of that, substantiated, bam, then I'm like, swift justice, man. Let's stop milling about. Gotta be swift with it, because it sends a statement. So, but yeah, I would definitely I'd be very vocal with what needs to be done, and my response would be, I guess, equally matched with that same energy. Yeah, I just wouldn't just take it. No, sorry, I would not. So, thank you guys for listening to this brief podcast episode. Sorry that the sketching power I just saw this image, and I think it was the other day, and I said, oh man, that would be cool to draw. But I don't think in this setting, because in this setting, I'm like crunching. And usually when I'm drawing something from memory, I pencil it. I'm not on a time crunch, so my mind is not racing. Excuse me. And then I'm not talking either. So I didn't really capture the way I really wanted to, and so I'm sorry about that. Wasn't trying to half-ass it, so to speak, but it just did not work out the way I really wanted to. This the whole perspective is off. This needs to be matched up with that, probably out to here. So, but again, like I always say, the drawing is not so much the center point of these conversations. It's about the conversations. And so if you happen to stumble upon this video and you want to leave a comment in regards of what would you do, and or what would you do depending on the scenario, something that's public, something that you're on stage, you're in front of folks, how would that affect your reaction? If if at all. And so, but the flip side is be cool, man. If someone says something about you, be cool. Particularly when it's not malicious. When it's just a joke. Like, it's one thing, like, my mother has passed and has been passed for a year now. I know, like, the month of her passing, if someone had said something to me maliciously regarding my mother, yes, I would be in a different state of mind, because, like, if they were attacking her character and it was a personal attack, yes, I can say without a shadow of doubt, yes, that would trip me up. That would definitely trigger me. If it was just some casual joke or whatever, not so much. I'll probably still be slightly disturbed or upset, but it wouldn't trigger me like if someone was being malicious, And so you guys know the old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. Words hurt, but it's how you respond to it. And sometimes you do have to exercise the maturity of not responding to it, and then just show that you are indeed a bigger person, whether someone's attacking your race, your creed, your look, as far as your dress, your height, your body shape, just roll with it, my my motto is, say what you gotta say, just don't touch me, because the minute you do, then that's the green light. And with that, thanks for watching this very sort of non-drawing part of this podcast. But again, this is not really all that it's about. So be sure to follow me on Facebook. I hear folks saying like Facebook is dying and stuff like that, and perhaps it is. I'm not really getting a whole lot of traction aside from like family and friends, but just go ahead, please follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Michelot Comics. You can also go to my website. It's michelolully.com. That's where you can get everything. Now, it's not the most updated because there's certain things that I have behind a paywall subscription to support what I do. So, and to support what I do, you can go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Michelot appreciate all the support. You can support just $1 a month, and you'll have access to about I would say like 80%, maybe 85% of the content on my Patreon page. So you can also follow me on Instagram as well. I think that's about it. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's see if we can get my subscriber count to double digits. 10, 10, 10. So that would be cool. Thanks so much, guys, for taking the time to sit down and or stand up or swim, whatever you're doing while you're listening to this. Appreciate you listening. Have a great afternoon, evening, morning, night. Grace and peace.